the Middle-aged Bodcast. Getting older, but having some laughs.
Welcome to the Middle-aged Bodcast with me, Raging Rich.
And me, T.A. Shelano.
And T.A., here we are. It's episode 6. We're flying through the season.
We are indeed, Rich. Obviously, we had a guest episode last week. We were joined by Brian Hall from the USA for a good chat. Now it's just me and you chatting again. I suppose we've got to get into our latest weighing stats.
Yes, do you have the figures at the ready?
I do indeed. We opened our weights back in episode 2 at the mysterious 19 stone, 1 pound, 6 ounces each. We then went to episode 4, where I think you made it all the way up to 19 stone 3, and I'd made it down to 19 stone 0. So now, where are we? Drum roll, please. Raging Rich is a non-mover with at 19 stone and 3 pounds, which is 122.2 kilos. T.A. Shelano, 19 stone 2 pounds, which is 121.8 kilos.
Wow.
So I am heaviest weight of the season so far. You are your joint heaviest weight of the season so far. And we are within a mere pound or less, depending upon whatever the ounces were, or points of pounds, as you like to refer to them.
Never let you live that down.
I will never let you live that down. No, afraid not. So now is it my turn to come up with excuses? Because I think you were coming out with your reasons last episode we did weights for why you'd gone up, and is it my turn to stay?
I wouldn't say excuses. I went away for the weekend and overindulged a little bit. Come on then, what have you been doing?
Well, obviously I've had similar indulgences, but also I didn't get round to weighing in this morning. I know you'd obviously done your weight, and obviously I've been to work, etc., and different things, and so I had to do mine later. So obviously I'd had lunch and things. So I'm not sort of making excuses, but obviously my weight's probably slightly higher later in the day than it would have been this morning, and I think I've done that just to get closer to your weight.
It's finished.
Yeah,
because all I'm going to say is the amount of grief I would have got if I hadn't weighed in the morning. The amount of grief I'd have had.
No.
Yes.
No. It's just a weigh-in before the recording. It's not. It doesn't have to be the morning. It's preferable, isn't it? Is what it is.
Hang on. I'm not having this. You always used to say me changing the parameters of things and all of this. And now here's you doing the same thing.
It's Mrs. Shelano was barking at me to leave the house early this morning. I'm sorry. I was a bit rushed. And so, it doesn't change any parameters. I mean, if anything, it's made me probably slightly heavier than I would have been this morning. So there you go. It's to your advantage.
It's not a competition.
But it's not a competition.
You're the one who keeps going, but it's not a competition.
It's not a competition.
In a tone of, it is a competition to me.
But it's not. It's not. But it's like, obviously, if I'd weighed in at 17 stone 4 this morning, which, wouldn't have happened. But if it had been like slightly less, that would make you feel worse. So now I make you feel slightly better. So if anything, it's better for you. That's how I'm coming at it. But I had got one thing I wanted to raise. What we haven't done, which I think we said we would do, is that we would do specifically regular weigh-ins, irrespective of recordings. And actually what's happened is we've just done a weigh-in every time we've done a recording.
Yeah.
Where it's for an episode that's going to have the weigh-ins in.
You're right.
I.e. non-guest. And I do think we should probably go, you know what, let's pick a day of the week in the morning, just to meet your parameters, where we do confirm that we will definitely weigh in each week, irrespective of whether it's to do with the recording or not. I think for consistency, that would be better.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to be guided on whether you think that should be a Tuesday, a Wednesday, whatever, but you know what I mean?
I think as long as it is one of 2 days of the week, because that way, if you do miss the one day, because obviously with both of us work from home sometimes, so you might be going into the office at different times. I might be going into my office at different times. So at least we can do that.
Yep.
And say, Tuesday or Wednesday, do a weigh-in.
Yep. Okay. Well, I think we should do that and record make a recording of that every week, so we know. Not obviously not for this, but just making a note of that
Yeah.
for better consistency.
I think that's a really good idea.
So let's do that. And as we both have significant work to do,
Is it time?
is it time?
Is it time for us to bring the new segment back?
Yes, it is time to bring the new segment in.
I really want to get a jingle for this.
You got to get a jingle, yeah. So away you go.
Yeah, well, significant update from me with my injury this weekend. So we had arranged to do a walk together, and this was for the Sunday, wasn't it? This was for the Sunday morning. And of course, everything was all going great. Friday, I booked some annual leave, and I don't know what I did, but I woke up and initially felt okay. But then all of a sudden, I don't know if I'd been sitting funny or if I'd just lied funny in the night and it just hadn't hit me straight away. But it felt like I had been punched in the ribs, all on my left-hand side, and just really struggling to move around. Massive shooting pain all up my left side every time I tried to move. Shooting across my chest as well. It was awful. And all I can think I'd done is I'd maybe sat funny or leaned on something on that side in an awkward position and got a bit of a trapped nerve. But oh my God, it was horrible. And it was kind of all at the front and the side in the morning. It ended up moving to the side and the back on the afternoon and the evening. And I did manage to sort of, at one point I was moving around a bit and went, oh, I'll be okay. This is fine. I went out, got my hair cut, did a bit of shopping. I came back. I said to you, I got the bus back with my shopping. So I'm holding, I'm left-handed, so I'm holding my shopping in my right hand because my left side is obviously where I was in pain. And this bus driver, I think he thought he was Lewis Hamilton or something. And he was like Lewis Hamilton in the Flintstones car or something, or some kind of insanity. He's taking this corner a bit too quickly in the most rickety bus I've ever sat in. And I'm like standing up, trying to hold on for dear life with my good arm, as in my left hand, being left-handed. And I'm holding on. And of course, because I've hurt myself, I'm bracing myself to like not go flying anywhere. And as he's taking the turn, I can just feel myself moving. I'm going, just like trying not to let out any kind of audible pain. And I get off the bus and I come back and I put everything away and I'm just there going, this is unbearable. This is ridiculous. I ended up having 3 hours sleep in the afternoon, got up, felt a little bit better, still couldn't really move around a lot. Still had a really bad pain. Like if I sat down and then I went to stand up, just my whole left side in pain, shooting across my chest, as I say. It wore off after I'd gone to bed on the night and I woke up on the Saturday. It had worn off, so I didn't have any pain sort of getting up and moving around. Still really sore on the side. Felt still like I'd been punched or something like that. And that lasted probably till Monday, really. It's only just starting to feel okay now. I still occasionally have a bit of pain if I sit still for too long, but yeah, it was really, really horrible. And obviously paid to my efforts for the weekend. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to join you on the walk that we were going to do on the Sunday. But do have some plans for a long weekend next weekend to be doing a little bit more prep, a little bit more training for the walk, and hopefully just getting myself back on track.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's obviously frustrating for you, and this is another example of midlife where you're in pain and injury without even having gone and done the walk. But the other thing I'm interested in is the fact that your Lewis Hamilton analogy. Neither you or I are big fans of Formula One. I quite like the idea of them driving buses around. I think it'd make it more interesting. Sorry, Formula One fans, but it's just my view.
I don't know about that. But yeah, it's just frustrating because obviously I'd had the day off for annual leave and my whole plans for the weekend just fell apart. So yeah, really, really frustrated that I didn't get to partake in our training walk. or practice walk. I don't really know what we're calling them, but yeah. What I have done, however, and this wasn't mentioned in the previous episode, however, it is there. The GoFundMe is there. As I said, we're not going to beg for people to donate. If you can, fantastic. If you can't, that's absolutely fine too. But I've also downloaded the Strava app that will let us chart the walk.
Mm-hmm.
So we will actually be able to have a proper mapping of the whole route that we've done.
Oh, okay.
Which is
Excellent.
fantastic. So yeah, that'll be really good. So yeah, a bit of progress on that side at least. But yeah, just the actual walking side, really frustrated, really upset that I couldn't get out and actually do that the weekend.
Obviously, I don't wish to add to your upset because I've now done 2 walks. Why?
That's great. That's great.
No, I'm just saying. I'm balancing this out in terms of just for the listener. In terms
and
of
making me feel like crap every time.
No, it's not. It's not what I'm intending to do. What am I meant to not train to make you feel better?
Yes.
It doesn't make sense. Like I went and did a walk when you weren't available the first time. This is before you got injured, and you got really upset. You felt like that was making you feel late.
Okay, you know why? I will say that here. We planned our practice walk.
Yeah.
For the one that's coming up that we're going to do,
yeah.
And we'd set a distance. Then you tell me on your first go of training, you've done double that distance.
It wasn't double the distance.
Does TA think that I can't manage that many miles of walking?
Was it double the distance?
Yeah, it was.
I didn't know that. I thought it was just the distance.
No.
I thought it was pretty much the distance we'd agreed.
But maybe it was in your mind, but I think it was double.
Well, for the benefit of the listeners, woke up in the morning. It was a Sunday morning. Mrs. Shelano had gone swimming, as she often does on a Sunday morning. And I thought, oh, it's quite a nice day. I should get out and do some exercise. Now, if you'd been available, I would have obviously suggested to you join me. This was obviously before you got injured. But you weren't. And I thought, I'll go and do it. And I thought, in telling you, you'd be like, oh, fair play. He's committed to this. Instead, you left me feeling really bad. I was like, telling Mrs. Shelano, I was like, he's upset with me for doing this walk. I'm like, I thought he'd be happy that I'm committed to the cause. And then, obviously, I've gone out and done the second one on the weekend when you're injured. So I do feel bad about that because you couldn't do it. But you could argue I was putting myself through it in honour of you being laid out on the sofa in pain, you know? And I've managed 2 times 4-mile walks. So I've not even completed the whole distance that we're meant to be doing in one go yet. So
I am joking, and I do think you have done great doing that.
And I even walked here for the recording.
No, you have done
just
great.
To up my.
You have done a really good job, and you are, what's the word? You are pulling your weight for the podcast training, because I'm certainly not. In terms of sort of the distances that you've covered, but yeah, I am getting back on track. I have got a plan for next weekend. I've got a really long weekend, so going to be trying to get as many walks in as I can for that, and just trying to get myself a few different routes to do as well. I think that's the thing. So when you did yours, did you do separate routes or the same one?
So I have done what is effectively the same route, one way, and then in reverse.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So when you say you did it in reverse, did you start at the same point but just go the other way around? Yeah. Oh, okay. So you didn't like go to a destination?
No. So same starting point and going clockwise.
Oh,
okay, and then all the way around, and then going anti-clockwise.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Is it?
One thing we haven't spoken about when we do this this training walk of ours, where we do our first walk together, it's sort of the route that we're going to take or anything. So we need to have a think about that. And then, once we've got all that sorted, we'll hopefully have a few different routes we can do for things. One of the things I do want to start doing is, when I'm going out and about, just making sure I am walking to places as much as possible. And I'm trying to do that. So even when I did initially get injured, I did walk a little bit of a distance, nothing insane, but oh my God. Yeah, that was, as I say, I kind of walked the pain off. It was then the blooming bus back and all of that caused the problems. But I think...
I mean, sometimes they say, like, you could get off at the stop earlier on the bus, get the stairs where you could rather than a lift or...
Well, the problem is now, a stop earlier on the bus is not that far from the stop I would get off at because they've moved it.
Wow.
So actually, I think I'd be better doing 2 stops before.
2 stops before.
So yeah.
On a nice day, 3 stops.
Yeah, and maybe doing it when I'm actually, maybe what I should actually do is come home, drop my stuff off, and then just go and walk that way and walk back. That might be the better solution. Because I don't really want to be lugging all my work stuff with me and things. So
go on full Run DMC. Walk that way. Oh dear. He's staring at me.
I love how you reference that it's full on Run DMC, which shows that you are not a fan of Aerosmith. That is terrible.
Sorry, Steve Tyler.
Oh my God, he's trying to show his references now.
Sorry, Liv Tyler's dad.
This is just descended into something else now.
Well, shall we move off then? Talking the walk, or
yes, and we do need a jingle. I'm going to try and find a jingle
and talk about what we've been up to.
Well, it's really what you've been up to, I think, TA, because I've not really had sort of anything out and about since York. Really tried to be having a bit of a quiet, money-saving time, really. But yeah,
so we've had a couple of shows. One more local and one a little bit further afield. So we went to see The Battle at Birmingham Rep, which essentially was covering the Blur versus Oasis battle for number 1 back in the mid-90s.
Okay, now let me try and remember. I know the Blur song was Country House.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what the Oasis song was.
Okay.
Is it off Watch the Story Morning Glory? Is it off that album? Okay, now, oh no. It's not going to be Wonderwall.
No.
Because Wonderwall was number 1.
It wasn't Wonderwall.
Oh my God, I've got to think about this now. Is it Some Might Say? It can't be Some Might Say.
This is lacking a bit of tension for the listener.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think what it is. Well, just go on. You tell us.
I mean, I suppose you could argue that what you've just done there was Roll With It.
Oh, okay. Okay. I have to ask, because we're not spoken about it, did they sing the songs as well? Or was it just like a dramatic performance, like a dramatic performance?
No, it was acting.
Okay.
It was acting rather than a musical performance type thing. I don't want to really give anything away because it's a touring show and all the rest of it. So I don't want to get into too much of it, but it is much more a dramatic, shall we say? And obviously, from a perspective of people who know big shows in the UK, it's got Gavin, who's in Gavin and Stacey, is in it. And somebody who was also in EastEnders, and so there's a couple of people who've been in.
So Matt Horn is in it.
Matt Horn.
I did not know that.
Matt Horn is in it. Yeah. So yeah, but some great performances. Really enjoyed it. And Mrs. Shelano loves her music, so she was thrilled. Other than the fact, of course, she's a massive Oasis fan, and as we all know, the war was won by Blur in that particular scenario.
So it was Matt Horn and Louisa Lytton.
Louisa Lytton was the actress from EastEnders. Yeah, that's right. Played Meg Matthews, who was obviously with Noel. I have to say the cast were brilliant, but the actor that played Noel, I think his name might be Paddy Stafford. He actually looked quite a bit like Noel. Obviously, much when he would have been that sort of age, but he'd got the intonation of his voice down, and I mean to the point where if you close your eyes, you think it was him talking. It was that good. I mean, they were all great, but that I thought you believed he was Noel in the mid-90s. That's how good his performance was. So we've had that, and then Mrs. Shelano bought me for Christmas. Now this is up there for Christmas presents, I think. One night only, Bryan Cranston of Breaking Bad and Malcolm in the Middle.
And the Power Rangers movie.
Yeah, I don't think he's spoken about that. Anyway, was doing an evening with.
Oh, fantastic.
At the Hammersmith Apollo. So we had to make our way to London for that. And he was interviewed by Romesh Ranganathan. Was the guest interviewer, which was great. What I like about it was I've seen obviously Romesh live a couple of times, and from when he was coming through as a breaking through comedian many, many moons ago. It was so interesting to see Romesh, who was very good at the role of interviewing. I felt, was a little bit starstruck as well. Like he'd got that pinch me moment about him of, am I really doing this? Have I really come from being a maths teacher in Crawley to sitting here interviewing Bryan Cranston for a living in front of, 3,500 people or whatever? It's like, yeah, he got that about it. But they've got a bit of a connection. I think they've both been doing some theatre work recently in London, had seen each other and met each other.
Yeah.
And he actually said, and I really liked this, he goes, I have to thank you, Bryan. He said, because you were talking to some fans outside your show, or after your show. He said, when I came from my show, and you shouted, hey, Romesh. He goes, which made me look super cool that an A-lister like you would even know who I was. So that was great. It was a fascinating night listening to him talk. Some wonderful advice, I think, for anybody involved in artistic pursuits, which we're included in that, right? I think definitely. Books and podcasting, definitely included in that. So yeah, it was great to listen to, and a good Christmas present. It's scored a few points for Mrs. Shelano back in the good books, and we stayed to obviously to cut costs down a little bit, because it's obviously not cheap going to London. We stayed in a room above a pub, so far more cost effective than a hotel. About 10-minute walk from the venue. There's a pub that what it's done, obviously pubs sometimes have quite big living accommodation space above it. Well, what they've done is converted some of the rooms basically into effectively like hotel room bedrooms.
Oh, wow. And
they let them out. So that I thought was quite good, actually. And it was, as I say, very good proximity to the venue. So so that was great. Really enjoyed that.
Now, you spoke in our previous episode where it was just me and you about seeing The Sopranos, the actors from The Sopranos, and the chat that they had where there was a bit of audience interaction. Was there any of that here, or was it just purely Romesh talking to him?
So they've done it slightly differently. When we spoke about The Sopranos, obviously people were able to go up in front of a microphone and ask questions. This one was done via Slido. So what they did was, at the interval, they put the QR code on screen. You could scan and basically put your question in, and if you get lucky, your question gets asked basically by Romesh in the second half of the show to Bryan on your behalf. That's how that was done. So that was quite good. You could see the other questions as well. So when you go into a Slido to do your question, you could see what other people were writing.
Oh, that's cool.
And so then when the questions were asked, you're like, oh, I remember seeing that one, or I remember seeing that one. Or if people were pretty much putting something that you were interested in, there was a question Mrs. Shelano was quite interested in that a few people I think had put. So that got asked. So that was quite good. So that's how they kind of broke it up into effectively 2 times 45-minute segments, either side of a sort of 20-minute break, effectively. So 45 minutes pure Romesh and Bryan, and then second one was still Romesh and Bryan, but obviously Romesh reading off questions off Slido, basically.
Oh, excellent. And I suppose that gives them a chance then to vet the questions as well. So going back to what we spoke about in the previous episode with some of the questions that were asked, at least with this, they're able to say, well, actually, you can discount certain ones straight away.
Yeah, or he was grouping as well. So like what he would do is go, oh, actually, there's a few people who have asked questions along these themes, so he could do that, which was quite good. My question didn't get asked.
What was your question?
So essentially, Vince Gilligan, I think, had fought a little bit for Bryan and Aaron Paul, because I think at the time, Bryan Cranston, having been known as the dad in Malcolm in the Middle, maybe the studio were less convinced about this was a real switch for him, and Aaron Paul was a complete unknown. So I think they were maybe more interested in having somebody who maybe people knew. So Vince fought for them, and obviously, he got them in it. And my question was effectively, who would have been the second best to you two as choices, basically, was what I was interested in. I think, to be fair, you can actually research online other people who were either interested or auditioning, but I just asked that on the Slido, but it didn't get asked. So thanks, Romesh. If you're listening, which who knows? You never know, but yeah.
Well, you don't, do you? You really don't. Well, yeah. No, that's really good. I'm glad you enjoyed that. That's a great present to get, isn't it?
I mean, I think it was obviously one night only thing he was doing. He's been in doing a play in London for quite a long time. So we suspect this was kind of bolted on as an idea, maybe before he goes back to the States. And we wondered whether or not, a little while back, we went and saw Bob Odenkirk where he was actually doing a UK version of that. And we saw him in Birmingham. We wonder whether or not Bryan may return to the UK and do it more widely in the future. Who knows? I don't know whether that will happen or not, but maybe it could have been a test run for that.
Could be. I mean, he is going to be quite busy soon, isn't he? Because I think, well, I don't know if they have filmed it or they're about to film it, but I know Malcolm in the Middle is coming back.
He did say about that.
And he's doing that. So, yeah.
And ironically, he did also mention, which I think I can mention here, that in terms of about fate of things, there was a suggestion at the time when the whole Breaking Bad came up that they may have done another season of Malcolm in the Middle at that time. And it didn't happen. And he said if it had happened, I wouldn't have been available for Breaking Bad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He said so, like, in terms of, like, as a fate thing, that was quite an interesting about how things work out.
Out of interest, have you seen the DVD extra ending of Breaking Bad where he wakes up as Malcolm's dad from Malcolm in the Middle and says it's all a dream?
I don't know that I have.
I'm going to play that for you in a minute.
Okay. Well, thanks. I don't know if I have seen. I don't think I've seen that.
You must have seen that.
Have we seen that? I don't know. We did watch it on DVD, but I don't know. I don't remember that if we did. It's been a little
the
while.
Malcolm in the Middle thing, like, is a spoof, but yeah.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So yeah, that was that's been the entertainment of. I was going to say, anybody listening to this show is going to be like, did the Shelanos just purely go to shows? I mean, is that their life? Are they, they just go to shows?
There will be a show next year that we're going to.
Yes,
a show that is touring, and of course, we did cover for its 40th anniversary. We did cover Back to the Future.
So
now it is going to be touring, and we'll be going to see that next year. So looking forward to that one. I've got a few things coming up, but nothing I don't think while this season's going on. I don't think there's anything that big at the moment. But yeah, everything's going to be kind of out of season. So I think some of my excursions shall be mentioned in bonus podcasts and in season 7, I think.
And we'll do another episode of Back to the Future after we've been to the theatre. Is that right? Next year, is that how we're gonna follow up?
We're gonna call it Back to the Future Part 2.
Yeah, I mean, really, having done an episode about the film, our ticket should have been free. They complained to Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd. But yeah, so that's something to look forward to way down the line. But for now, yeah, Mrs. Shelano and I have been quite, and you as well, and Raging Ruth, we've all been quite busy with things, haven't we? So it's time to put the entertainment down and get our walking boots on.
Well, yeah, I mean, we obviously Ruth and I went to the comedy gig with Sarah Pascoe headlining a few weeks back, and we spoke about that.
You've had your time in York,
and there was the trip to York and stuff like that, and we have got something coming up.
Cool.
Sort of May time as well, which really looking forward to. But yeah, as I say, they'll all be kind of things that potentially won't be mentioned until probably a bonus or until the next season. But yeah, it sounds like you've had a really great weekend today. Really pleased for you with that. Well done on the walk-in. My attempts at a humorous I'm in a mood with you clearly did not go down very well.
No, well, on messages, it doesn't read that easily. When somebody just goes, "Oh, great, I feel really lazy now," or something you put, and I'm like, "Oh, it doesn't." The humour doesn't naturally come across in that message.
Oh, fair enough. That's a fair point.
If you'd done a voice note, you could have. If you'd done a voice note, going, "Oh, now I feel," that would have made more. That the intonation of what you were saying, as opposed to you just read it. I was like, he seems really annoyed.
Fair enough.
And I was like,
maybe I was.
I felt like he would. I'm like, does he just want me to sit here and like not do it?
Yeah,
And I'm like,
I do.
oh, right, okay. Or what will happen going forward is if I do another walk, I just won't tell you. There you go.
No, but yeah, all joking aside, well done.
Thank you.
I think you have done a great job with that.
I am looking forward to when we do.
Yes, yeah, I think it'll be good. We have got something coming up, and hopefully we'll be able to talk to our listeners about that this season as well. Well, I think that brings this episode to a close there. So thank you very much, TA, and thank you, podcasters, for listening. We will catch you next week. Goodbye.
Want more middle-aged podcast in your life? Of course you do. Follow us on social media for behind-the-scenes stuff, extra larks, and all our latest updates.
We're on Instagram and Threads at Middle-aged Bodcast.
Facebook's easier. Just head to facebook.com/middle-aged podcast.
If you're still hanging on to Twitter or X or whatever it's called now, we're at Middle-aged Bodcast.
And if you're on Blue Sky, it's at middleagedpodcast.bsky.social.
Or you can swing by our website, middleagedpodcast.co.uk.
Give us a follow and stay in the loop.
Cheers for listening.